Today we will be learning about structure and function of cells.
All living things are made up of cells, which is the smallest unit that can be said to be alive.
All cells fall into two categories, unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular organisms have single cells that perform all the functions. They are fairly simple and extremely small. Multicellular organisms, on the other hand, have multiple cells. Instead of each cell performing every job, they divide up the work.
These subsystems are groups of cells that work together to form tissues and organs that are specialized for particular body functions.
Within cells, special structures are responsible for the particular functions. Here are some important structures. Cell membrane. The membrane protects each cell. The membrane acts as a gatekeeper, deciding what gets into a cell and keeps the bad things out. Nucleus. This is the control center of the cell and is the closest thing to a brain that a cell has. This determines the basic structure of a cell and how it will function. Cytoplasm. This is a gel-like fluid inside the cell. This is the place where the organelles operate to run a cell. The cytoplasm is just a platform for these various functions. Cytoplasmic organelles. These are suspended in the cytoplasm of each cell. Each organelle has a very specific role. All the organelles combined make it possible for the cell to function. All living things have cells, but what are living things? Characteristics define a living thing as being made up of chemicals, the ability to grow and develop, being responsive to its surroundings, are capable of reproduction, and use energy. In order to survive, species develop adaptations over various generations genetically or develop an adaptive behavior. An adaptation is a change or the process of change by which an organism or species becomes better suited for its environment.
Penguins have adapted to their environmental conditions by using their strong wings for swimming rather than flying. Scientists believe that the reason why penguins stopped flying and gained weight was to make them better swimmers, specifically better divers.
One adaptation that penguins have is called countershading. They have black on their backs and white on their underbellies, which means when they're swimming, if a predator's above them, they look down into the dark, murky water and they see the penguin's back, which helps them blend in. But if a predator's underneath them, they look up into the bright sunlight and they see a lot of white, and those speckled stomachs that are white help them also camouflage. So they're covered either way.
The animals with adaptations survive to reproduce, therefore giving the next generation that adaptation. This leads to certain traits throughout the population with others suppressed. This process is called natural selection. We normally think of just animals as having adaptations, but plants have adapted as well. Plants reproduce for the most part sexually, with things such as animals, wind, water, and more dispersing the seeds. However, there are also 3 ways that plants reproduce asexually. Division, breaking off clumps of plants to form new ones. You don't have to actually plant a seed, you're just splitting the plant to make a copy. Layering, rooting a piece of the parent plant without severing it. This would involve burying a piece of the still connected stem into the ground so that it can take root. Cuttings, rooting a piece of the parent plant after severing it. You might cut off a leaf, tip, stem, or root and plant it. Once the plant is reproduced, the baby plant can be affected by both genetic factors and local conditions. Genetic factors such as species can affect how the plant responds to its environment. The species was passed on from the parent and will stay consistent the plant's entire life. Environmental conditions such as the availability of light, water, space, and more will affect whether the plant thrives or not. These factors could change if the plant is moved and with the seasons change or more. The reason plants need water, carbon dioxide, minerals, and light is because of photosynthesis, or the process in which plants make their own sugar called glucose. Plants, algae, and other microorganisms use this process to obtain energy rather than consuming other organisms. All organisms have their own unique structures and functions. That's what makes the animal kingdom so interesting. Don't forget to click that like button. See you in the next video.